Hi, I'm Dave Monty. Welcome to my video series, Everything Villages. Today, I'm going to discuss how I help my clients narrow down a search for a home, so stay tuned. As always, a couple of housekeeping items. If you like this video, please hit like. If you like my channel, please subscribe to it. Both those actions help these videos reach more people, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you'd like a copy of my free 42-page guide, Buying and Selling a Home in the Villages, you can email me right here at davemontysales@gmail.com. I also have a nifty cost of living / budgeting tool that you can email me right here at davemontysales@gmail.com for your copy. Also, I do have other videos. We're going to discuss this a little bit, your biggest bang for your buck, which basically says that you can pick up a home that needs some updating and put your own touches on it, and we do that for you. I have the contractors to be able to do that. And often you can buy a home that needs a little bit of help, put some work into it, and end up spending totally less than you would for a home that's already updated. So that's kind of the premise of that video. It does need to be updated. I haven't done it in a couple of years, and that's one of the ones that I'm going to update. And by the way, I'm trying to go through my videos, and I'm going to try to up the look and feel of them as well as the content. Like I said, the cost of living calculator, I cut a couple tutorials up there, understanding the two different real estate markets here, buying, sight unseen, home insurance. I got a ton of videos. Getting to the subject of this video, there is more inventory. I think I checked this morning and it was 620 homes on the market. During COVID, it was like 70. So we've got a ton of inventory right now. Pricing has been holding steady, and I'm actually starting to see a little bit of weakness in there. We're starting to see people actually lower pricing when they need to sell their homes. But as of right now, we have more inventory. With more inventory becomes more indecision by the buyers. Obviously, you have more choice. You can be a little bit more picky and take more time. But I'm also seeing some clients are getting into a little bit of analysis paralysis. So the goal is to prioritize what their needs are and focus our search what they're looking for and what's going to fit their lifestyle, rather than looking at a home way up north of Marion County and then going down to a brand new home way down here, and being all over the place and trying to compare apples to oranges, new homes to homes that need updated. So here's the three things that I like to focus my clients on. Is location. Like any real estate market, is location is most important. What a lot of people don't understand about the Villages is that it is a city. If you haven't been here, you really don't understand the size and the scope. And a lot of people still think of it as a retirement community that's got some different types of homes in different areas. Well, like any city, some parts of it were built a long time ago, and there's some parts that are brand new, and they have different advantages and disadvantages. So I'm going to kind of show you the conversation I have with my clients on that. Lot and model. Now, obviously, do you need a pool? Do you need a view? And there's a lot of other factors that go into what you're going to be looking for. The reason I'm focusing on these three things is that you cannot change these. You can't change the location. You can't change the lot. You can't change the model. With the right lot, you can always put a pool on. With the right model, we can always update it for you. So focusing my clients to really narrow down their search for those three big things, and not so much the look and feel of the home, because the look of the feel of the home can be changed. Just as an FYI, I had a comment the other day. I had no idea that you couldn't see my cursor. Like I move my cursor around, you can't see it. So I just now turned it on. And hopefully this makes more sense to people, as I've been using my cursor to point things out and didn't realize it did not show up on the videos. First of all, we're going to talk about location. And there are two sort of distinct halves of the Villages. It's north of 44 and south of 44. North of 44 was the original developer, Howard Schwartz, and I believe his son-in-law, Gary Morse, were the developers up here. And then Mark Morse, the son of Gary, is now the developer south of 44. And they have different philosophies. And here, where north of 466 was primarily Howard. Howard had a great vision, but it wasn't fully formed yet. He was also catering to an affordable retirement. And over time, as the Villages got more and more popular, the homes became a little bit more expensive. They still keep options at every different price level, but there's many more options, whereas before it was predominantly more affordable and a few nicer homes. Now it's much more balanced as you go south. Gary tended to be a spare no expense guy, meaning more of everything down here, more landscaping, more rec centers, more pools, more golf, more town squares. So he just really believed in the lifestyle and really creating a really beautiful environment. And that's what you'll notice when you're driving down like Morse Boulevard or Buena Vista. You see nothing but golf courses. South is a little bit of a different. I'll go down there. So now, not picking on anyone here, but the mentality down here tends to be a little bit more of spare no profit mentality. Homes are closer together. Construction is built for efficiency, etc. Let's go back up and we'll discuss, like we said, the three different sections here. If you're a golfer, you definitely want to be north. That's where all the golf options are. Now there are a few down south, but if you want a variety of golf, it's mainly up north. Can you get your golf cart from the south up to the north? Yes, you can, to go play golf. But in a lot of locations, it's not the most practical. You might be in your golf cart for 45 minutes before you get to the golf course. So if you're a golfer, I highly recommend you be north of 44. If you're into the town squares and you want to move in and the first night go down and go dancing, where to do that is going to be pretty much north of Highway 44. Now they're building Eastport down south, but that's going to take some time to get there. The big thing is going to be shopping and medical, and pretty much anything that you need to run an errand is pretty much north in the villages. Down south, there is Magnolia Plaza, which does have a Publix, really overcrowded, sometimes even hard to find parking in the parking lot down there because that's the only thing down there right now. And I'm going to show you that on the village's own website. Negatives up north, though. Older homes. You're going to have older homes. Most of the homes need updating. Flat out, when you go into probably 80, if not 80%, if not more of the homes, people bought and didn't do anything to them. So the homes that are updated up here that look modern are selling quickly. What's creating the bloat on the market is the homes that still need updating because you're competing against new homes. And I get it all the time. We definitely want to be north. And then I'll get a call the next day saying, oh, we fell in love with this model down in the new area and they bought a new home down there. Some people are okay with it. Some people realize they made a mistake over some time for their needs. If you're more of a hiker or biker, you down in this area is probably better for you because up north you have multimodal paths, which means that the walkers and bikers are sharing the paths with the golf carts. Down south, they've separated them out. You have separate golf cart paths from the biking and walking trails. So if you're a biker or hiker and you like to get out into the nature, south is actually a little bit better for that. Another positive is you get, like I said, the newer homes, open floor plans. Eastport will eventually get there. My guess is in a year and a half to 2 years. I could be off on that, but that's just kind of my guess at this point. And they're younger retirees. If you're 55 to 65, that's the majority of the people sort of south of 44 where they're building fairly new now. Now down in this area, Marsh Bend, Spanish Springs, and such. These are 2017. The people, have been there for a little while, so you might have a little bit older retirees in this area. This area also has decent access up to Brownwood, which is going to be about right there where my cursor is. So best of both worlds, fairly new homes, a lot of amenities in this area for different reasons. And we'll watch one of my other videos to get into that. The negatives. Here's the big one. There's nothing down there. Down here north of the turnpike, you have much higher taxes than you would down in here. Up north, most of the villages is in Sumter County. You have a little bit way up north, that's in Marion County. Down here, you're going to be in Sumter County, but you're going to pay an additional Wildwood City tax that you don't pay up in the traditional part of the villages. Down along here, as you start getting a little bit down southeast of Sawgrass, down in here, your taxes are kind of very expensive. You have Lake County as well as Leesburg taxes, and it can be almost twice as much as up here because the bonds are much more expensive. And that's one thing, so you have large bonds and smaller bonds up north. Now, talking about, how far it takes to get anywhere, the biggest complaint you hear down these areas is, if I want to do anything, I got to hop in my car and come up here because it's not practical to get anywhere by golf cart. The number of homes for resale along this area, and I think it's a compounding effect. I think it's the cost of the taxes and the fact that it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere right now, like any city. The newer homes are built on the outskirts of town. Same thing here. The resale rate, the percentage of homes for resale down here is the highest. I think almost 2 times as high as anywhere else in the villages, if not 3 times or 4 times. I'm trying to be conservative, but the percentage of homes down here is much more than anywhere else on the resale market. I'm going to escape out of this real quick, and I'm going to go over to the villages. And this is what I mean by, nothing down there per se. This is a village's own website. I need to move this down, and I'm going to search by category. Town squares and entertainment. It zooms in to the north. You got Paddock Brownwood, you got Sumter Landing, and Spanish Springs town centers up there. You do have Sawgrass right here, and eventually Eastport's going to be there. But notice, like when you actually just click on anything, it actually brings you up to the northern section here. Let's look at championship courses. Boom. Okay, there's 1 down here, maybe 2. Let's look at executive courses. Boom. They're pretty much north. Dining. Okay, you have a few dining options, but most of them are up here. Shopping. No, they don't even have shopping, but medical up north. Professional up north. Miscellaneous, kind of all over the place. If you're into clubs, most of the clubs that are established are up north. So they're just things to consider. When I'm showing a client around, what I like to do is sort of narrow down north or south. If they're kind of in between, then we might look at the Finney area, Marsh Bend area, DeSoto, McClure. Then say they want to be up north. And what I'd like to do is now let's narrow down their budget. So their budget's going to be X based on the other parameters that they gave me. Now let me show you what you're going to get for your budget, north, middle, and south down here towards Brownwood. You're either going to like one area or not. You're going to say, hey, wow, I really liked way up north. It had very mature landscaping. We love the landscaping up there. We like the coziness of it. As you come down into here, you're going to start to see more tropical, more golf courses, etc. And you go, ooh, I really like it down here. The most expensive part of the village is, and I maybe I've already said this, but Brownwood area, the newest homes in the traditional part of the village is between 2013, maybe 2018 in this area. There is a trade-off in the village. The trade-off is good location versus new home. I get it a lot. We love Sumter Landing. We love to dance. We love the atmosphere. We like to go down during the day. And we want a new home right next to Sumter Landing. Well, that doesn't exist. So around Sumter Landing, you're going to be looking at homes are 2005 to 2008, probably in this, between the 6s, 466 and 466A. So understanding your requirements, and then let's narrow down the location. Now that I've narrowed down the location and said, hey, I want to be on top of Brownwood, now let's take a look at the lot and the model home. And sometimes these are done in conjunction, okay, depending on what your budget is. And I'm just going to whip through these real quick. They're going to be looking at a patio villa. And the patio villas here, as well as south, look very similar to each other. You're probably looking in the 260 to 340 range. The 340 would have to be really tweaked out these days. 1,100, 1,200 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath homes. Courtyard villas. Now, courtyard villas provide a little bit of privacy. I have a slide about that. And I kind of showed the 2 different looks here. This is in a newer area in the villages. I can tell because it has a straight-on driveway versus the curved driveway. It's got a 2-car garage versus the garage and a half. But a courtyard villa, you're looking between 1,200 to 1,800 square feet, 2 to 3 bedrooms, maybe 320, maybe a little bit lower if you way up north and one that needs a little bit of help. And I say up to 400,000. Now, they can actually get much more expensive. Some of them, in the 1,800 range, if they have a nice backyard, room for a pool, etc., they can get expensive. So I'm just concentrating sort of on the base models and not necessarily discussing whether we're going to put a pool in and things like that. So our goal is narrow down the location, now narrow down the type of home you want, okay? Whether it's going to be a ranch style home, which, this is probably the most common model, Bougainvillea, Alamanda, Amarillo. I think it's called the Sunkiss now. There's probably more of this model than anything. It's a 3-2, probably about 1,400 square feet, unless you have the Florida room in the back, which is going to be in a total of 1,600 square feet if you go ahead and utilize the Florida room. anywhere from 2 to 3 bedrooms, and these are kind of the ranch style homes. And again, you can find these pretty much all over the villages, maybe between 275, maybe 420. Sometimes if it's got stucco and it's got a golf cart garage and in a decent location, it can get a little bit more expensive. Small designer homes, what we're talking about here is wisteria, jasmine. That's this model over here, the stucco and stick version, whispering pine, which is over here. That type of model. And again, so what we're going to do is if your budget is in this range, and I'm going to show you this type of model in different areas throughout the villages based on your requirements. So again, so what we're trying to do now is, okay, now let's narrow down the location, then narrow down kind of the series of home. Once we get the series of home, now there are 1 or 2 models that you can live with in there. The next step up is the designer, 1,700 square feet to 2,100 square feet, 3 to 4 bedrooms. 400,000 to 650,000. Again, can go a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, depending on location and whether it's a golf cart garage, stucco, etc. But again, our goal is, all right, we're definitely smack dab in the middle of the designers. You like the Brownwood area, so just know you're going to be looking in the high 500s for something like that. And then there's obviously premieres, and the premieres are going to be 850,000 and above. And there's distinct islands of premieres in the villages, like Bridgeport is a big premier community. There's a premier community down in off Bailey Trail, Sunset Ridge area, down Conservation Trail, which is more in Pine Hills, Pine Ridge. I always forget again which one that is. So let's talk about privacy. That is one of the more desired features of a home down here in the villages. Now, the most expensive way to get privacy is with a view. If you're on a golf course or have a water view, it's going to be very expensive. However, in a standard type of a home, whether it's designer or small designer, ranch or whatever, even if you have a lanai here and you're back to back with somebody, you can put landscaping in to give yourself a little bit of privacy, but you will not have a backyard. The courtyard villa, a lot of people will go to the courtyard villa for a number of reasons. If they have pets, if they want a little bit of privacy, don't want to pay the premium for a view, a courtyard villa is a viable option. So that's another thing that as I'm showing homes and we start looking at the different models is how concerned you are with privacy, and that will help narrow down the search once again. Now, while we're on lots, I tried to pick this one picture, hopefully it's not too busy. I tried to pick this one for the variety of different lots that you can see in one shot. So here's my courtyard villa, and you can see from the top, this is up north because the homes are on a slant rather than straight on with the street. And it has a little courtyard in the back, and you can see maybe even over here, there's a bigger courtyard right in there. So down here, what's circled is kind of a standard backyard, and you can see that how close these are back to back. But you can see there's some landscaping in there for some privacy. The next one up here is going to be a corner lot. And sometimes these corner lots will have room for a pool. This one pretty much doesn't. I know you can just tell from where the property lines are. But do you have a corner lot? Can you put some stuff over here? A lot of people will put a patio. Some people even put pools if there's room for it over there. Okay? And this will add a little bit of a premium. But again, do you want a corner lot? Then down here, what I've circled, I missed a little bit, is this lot was meant to be circled right here to show you that there are different lots. Like if I'm sitting back here in the lanai, I'm not looking into anyone's back. I actually have a little bit of yard here and a little bit of yard here and a little bit of yard on my own property. So when I'm in the back, I don't feel as crowded. And again, you can probably set that up for privacy. And then of course, if you want ultimate privacy, you're going to be looking at, something with a view. And this happens to be on the golf course. What we've done is we've narrowed down the location, the style of home you're looking for, and the lot, because those things can't be changed. So I'm going to go back up to here, my northernmost thing. Again, I get this a lot. We want to be near Sumter Landing or near Brownwood, but we want a really new home. Well, the big trade-off here is going to be new home versus a home that needs some updating typically. Probably 80% of the homes, if not more, need updating. That's where we come in. When I help clients buy a home, even list a home, we have the contractors to update them. Often we can find a home with the location and the lot that you want, okay? But it might take 4 to 6 weeks for us to come in and make the inside look like a model for you. Ripping up floors, putting in new floors, repainting, new appliances, new light fixtures. and pretty much you've updated the home, new countertops. So there's a lot that you can do real quickly to make the home look like a model. But I'll hear it all the time, and I think I said it at the beginning of this, is that, hey, we want to be near Sumter Landing. I'm a big golfer. We have to be here. Next day, I get a call saying, we went down, looked at the models, fell in love with them, and we bought a lot down here that we're going to build a house on. So the big thing is location. You're coming down here for an experience. That's the reason people move to the villages, is the experience. And then they end up choosing a brand new home that's not going to have as good of an experience, in my opinion. And that's why the resale rates down in the newer areas are much higher. Not everyone dislikes it. I get comments, we love it down here. Well, yeah, there's going to be plenty of people that love it, but there's plenty of people who made a rash decision without knowing all of the information. And that's always my goal, is to give you enough information to make an informed decision. So if you're falling in love with the models, two things. One, when you look at the model homes, that's not the home you're buying, okay? It's not going to be your furniture. It's not going to have all the updates that the model homes have. It's not going to have extra trim work in the home, as an example. So often you go down there, fall in love with the model, then they build you their base home, and it's nowhere close to what you saw in the model, and it might not be in the best location or the location that suits your needs. Again, hiker, biker, great to be down there. If you're a golfer, definitely want to be north. If you have medical issues, you definitely want to be north, or you're going to be in your car all day long. Now, I'll kind of summarize, probably repeated myself several times in there because I've done it. This is about my fourth take, and sometimes I can't remember what I say between takes. But number one is location. Right? Location will dictate your experience here in the villages. Number 2 and 3, kind of closely together, are going to be the lot. What type of lot do you want? And then what type of model do you want? So when I'm helping clients show homes, I'm going to show them around their price range, different models in different sections of the villages. And our goal in our first go around is just to narrow down, going, okay, this is where I want to be. This is the size home that I want. Here's the type of lot I want. Then I tell them, kind of ignore the condition of the home inside. Most of the homes need updating here, and we provide that work for you. We can make any home look like a model, but the things you can't change are going to be location, lot, and model. And if we can consolidate your choices there, it'll make your search for a home much easier. If you'd like a copy of my free 42-page guide or my nifty cost of living calculator, you can email me right here at davemontysales@gmail.com, and I'll send you out a copy. Well, I hope you found this video informative, and I hope to see you around the villages. Take care.